What up, what up, what up? I'm AC Cruz. You know who you are. Welcome to my podcast. Today's guest, Solido, León, Rolo Benavides, and Chikis. They've been busy, I'm going to tell you right now, because they are getting ready to release 2 new albums. Check it out. One new original, new material, and the other one's covers. So that's something to look forward to. Not only that, they did some collaborations with Poder del Norte, David y Fernando, Los Impostores, Grupo Secreto. Needless to say, these guys have been busy. I mean, hell, they played last night on South Padre Island to a packed house with La Mafia, Jay Perez. I can imagine that show was incredible. So let's go ahead and jump into it. From November 2018, it's Solido.
Solido. Translation, solid. After almost 20 years, 12 CDs, and 2 Grammys later, that is exactly how this group has remained solid. Then Rolo and Amado, aka Chikis, sit down and chat with AC Cruz about the trials and tribulations of the road, the business, and even some New Year's resolutions. I'm Jackie Lynn. All this and more on this episode of Cruise Control with AC Cruz behind the mic with Solido.
All right, so anyway, we are running hot, right? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check those levels because it seems like it's running kind of hot. It's peaking a bit. AC Cruz running hot. That looks about right. Go ahead and give me something, Ben.
C2, yeah, Ben de León.
There you go. All right, go. Here.
What's running hot?
Es que está muy...
It's
too loud.
That's studio
peaking,
talk,
yeah.
okay.
It's peaking. It's maybe radio talk. I don't know. Running hot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, en español, corriendo caliente es otro pedo.
Yeah. That's good. If you just now freaking out, saying who is that with the AC? It's the guys from Solido.
What's up, AC?
What's up, brothers? It's been forever and a day, man.
I know, man.
Sure.
I'm pretty much tell that to everybody when I see them because you guys have been working, but I've been doing shit, right? I've been doing nothing, man.
Puedo rascar, como dicen.
Oye, hermano, first of all, thank you for accepting the invitation for doing this podcast. Tell everybody who's here.
All right, Ben de León, primera voz, Solido.
What's up? This is Rolo Benavides, segunda voz y percusiones para Solido. And she's a little bit far. We got Chikis in the house also, our drummer.
Chicky's like, don't bother me. I'm busy playing Fortnite on his smartphone. So, how you been, man?
We've been good, man. Gracias a Dios. We've been blessed. Still kicking, still jamming. It's almost... We're creeping up on our 20th anniversary. Can you believe that, man?
Awesome. That's awesome.
Ya 20 años de Solido, pero I mean it's like a parece que fue todo en un día.
20 years. Now, what year was that? Was that 99 or was that 2000?
Cima del Cielo came out
2000.
late 2000. I think I'd have to say the latter part of November.
Well, the reason I asked is because when I first heard the song, I said, damn, who is that? Because if you recall, I was out of radio for a bit. And then when I got back in the radio, I said, Solido, let me hear some of the other shit they got. And I fell in love with Tal Vez. I fell in love with all the other stuff on that CD, man. And I said, what is that? Was it 99 or 2000?
It was 2000.
We went into the
2000.
studio to record it in 99, but the album was released in 2000.
We actually took about almost a year and a half to record the album, and then we waited. Right, we waited.
You keep looking at him, but I said talking to the mic.
Oh, talking to the mic. Okay. It's just something about the mic position, and then it's time to speak down to it.
I had the same problem. with Johnny from Palominos until he started talking about Sony. He said, "Give me the microphone." My turn to talk. But anyway,
it's funny. We were listening to your podcast about Jimmy Gonzalez and them, and I always remember because when we were recording our album and our album was done and we were waiting for it to release. We actually waited most of the year 2000 for it to come out, but we were right behind Jimmy. Jimmy had just released his solo album with Freddie Records, and we were right behind him waiting and kept waiting, and we were like...
Waiting your turn, you mean?
Waiting our turn for our album to be released. But... I mean, it seems like yesterday, no?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Have you been listening to the podcast?
Yes. When I first saw it, and I saw it the first one I heard was the Bobby Pulido one, and I saw that it was like 50 minutes long. I was like, I was telling myself, AC, I can't listen. I can't stay still for like 30 minutes, much less an hour. I got to answer calls. I got to do things. And sure enough, I was there sitting in my truck. I made it home, but I stayed outside, parked outside, sitting in my truck. I hadn't finished. And I waited outside so I can finish. I was hooked. And you're doing a tremendous job.
Thank you, man. But what did you like about the concept? Just shooting the shit, right?
Es la neta, that we say in the valley.
Sí.
Es la pura neta. Mucha gente no sabe de cómo, qué es lo que sucede, de, what happens, what really going on. I mean, a lot of the things we try to be or try to say the politically correct.
Be PC about it.
But now, o sea, un programa como el tuyo, podemos decir un poquito más.
Al chile.
Al chile.
Yeah,
claro.
How about you? What episodes have you liked so far?
I got to listen to the Bobby Pulido and to the Jimmy one also.
Yeah.
Pues you just get a little bit more insight from I think from the artist, because usually, como dice Ben, I mean, when you go to a radio station, everything's kind of mapped out. You already know what you're gonna do. You talk about your new single, what you're pushing.
We can do that. That's fine. But
they're the same questions.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here it's just basically we're como dices, shooting the shit and you're just recording it.
¿Tú, Chiquis?
Oh, yeah. Ahorita veníamos viendo el de Jimmy, el de Mikey, and man, you always want to know more, aunque dicen que las mujeres andan en el chisme nomás. Todos somos igual, todos queremos saber qué onda, you know?
Así es.
Todos los músicos somos chismosos, ¿o qué?
Oye, the one that I really liked with Bobby, when he said that he negotiated his dad's contract along with his own contract.
Oh, yeah, that was so cool.
That was real so cool. Oye, hablando de, first of all, I'm glad, thank you so much that you like the show. But before you guys started Solido, what were you guys doing, man? I mean, what did you do for a living? And how old were you?
Bueno, pues yo me llevo a todos estos cabrones con 10 años. So I was working. I was out of high school. I was going to Pan Am en ese tiempo. And
you're a student at Pan Am?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, brother.
Yeah.
What were you studying?
Just the basics. I never finished. I've been wanting to go back.
That's all right.
I've been wanting to go back, and I'm actually real close. I was taking some online classes at STC, Latin American Studies. So
cool, man.
And then I was like, I just go back to Pan Am and I'll be a history teacher later on. But a ver qué onda. My kids are in school. So.
I know somebody who can probably get you into college in Uvalde.
I know. Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah. No, y luego, ¿cuándo empezaste a hacer música?
Pues, I think toda mi vida yo siempre me gustó la cantada, pero I never pursued it. I didn't do mariachi or choir or anything in school. I was an athlete. My brothers were the ones that and these guys were the ones that actually picked up the instruments and actually played. Le echaron ganas. Pero I didn't know that all through the years I was practicing my craft, because yo siempre era el que siempre traía, the Walkman or the boombox, la música a todo vuelo, and I would sing along, and Yo soy una persona que me gusta toda clase de música.
Yeah.
All styles of music. So I would listen to everything.
What was your favorite at the time?
It depends what I was going through. I mean, if I was going through a heartache, era Vicente Fernández y todo eso. Pero no, I would listen to country. I would listen to pop. I was, Michael Jackson, Madonna.
Wait a minute. What year was that? Because I was probably on B104, maybe. I don't know.
I listened to you, man.
I don't know. And what about you?
I didn't get to do much, man. I was just out of high school, fresh out of high school when we've been friends since we're small. We have T-ball pictures together when we're in T-ball, man. Yeah. So after high school.
¿Cómo estaba Chiqui en el T-ball?
Ay, más o menos le pegaba. No, hombre. And I think the only place I got to work at was I worked at Peter Piper, like for a week. It sucked, man. No valía madre.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, we played there.
Wait. You sucked or they sucked? Because
both of us.
Obviously, it was for a week. You must have sucked.
Yeah, I sucked, man. I mean, to wash dishes and go home and wash dishes at home again. So nah. But see, I worked at Peter Piper for a week, I think, and I was like, nah, este jale no es para mí. Vamos a echarle ganas a la música. So we Chikis and his brothers, the guys already had the band. And I would just hang out, man. I was just hanging out. I was always a drummer, but I've always been into heavy metal, real hard rock. I would play drums.
Which bands?
Metallica, Sepultura, Pantera, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
man.
Right on.
So I was like, pues, ¿qué voy a hacer yo aquí? Pues, Chikis ya tocaba drums. And they're like, no, hombre, ¿sabes qué? Do the segunda or get some congas, do something. So I started learning how to sing segunda, and I got the congas, and pues, the rest is history, man.
¿Y tú,
We're here.
Chikis?
Because you really, I was también, me and Rolo the same age, so we got out of high school, and I remember I got out of high school, and on my graduation day, we had a contract in Odessa. I didn't even go to my graduation
No, hombre.
because we were already playing. So I've never had a job other than
Are you
this.
serious?
Yeah, because I was still living with my parents. I was 18.
Uh-huh.
So right out of high school, estábamos trabajando. And it's been like that ever since.
Ben, so what made you come front and center as the vocalist? Because if I can remember correctly, you played bass and sang. También.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know I could sing, honestly. I mean, I didn't know. I just knew I loved music. And when I would see my brothers, play and do their thing, they had another vocalist. They had an accordion player that sang. And they did mostly conjunto. Pero that was when all the Intocables started coming in. And at that time, estaba our good friends from Intenso, from that was from Rio, and all those other bands. So I mean, I was working at a pawn shop at that time. Like I said, I'm older than my brothers. So I was working at a pawn shop. I was doing really good. I had my own house and everything. And then I started singing. I think we started singing one song. No, I was singing one song on stage. I finally learned to play the bass. So I finally was able to be part of the band. And then my house burned down Christmas Eve of '98.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Because I was doing good. I was working for a pawn shop. I was a manager. I was doing really good. So I had my own place and everything. So my house burned down Christmas Eve of '98. I moved back to my parents, and my brothers would say, "No, no te agüites, carnal. La vamos a hacer en la música." Pero I was like, "No, these guys are still in high school. They don't know de que tienes que trabajar." So ellos tenían más ánimo que uno, pero pues no hay mal que por bien no venga, ¿no? Dios pone y dispone, ¿no? In less than a year after my house burned down, in less than a year, we were in the studio in Corpus Christi recording Hasta la Cima del Cielo.
Wow. Like I said, Hasta la Cima del Cielo, man, I love the song, but then again, I said, I need to find out more about these guys because I just dug your music, man. I just dug.
Thanks.
¿Cómo dice? El timbre de tu voz, ¿verdad?
Timbre en la voz.
El timbre en la voz. Y todavía me gusta.
Gracias.
Y otra cosa, when that first song took off, that's when you started working quite a bit, no? Or were you working before?
No. I mean, we would do some privates and parties and here and there, but when we were driving over here, we were talking about it. I think. That song was it's awesome for a new band to have a major hit like that, but it's also counterproductive in a way because I kind of felt I didn't have too much experience as far as stage I played the bass and stuff, pero the song was so hot, all the bands were calling us for gigs to open up the shows and stuff, and so we were tossed in some big stages that I kind of felt that we were not prepared for.
Yeah.
So, we had a kind of a rough year. También nos pasó lo mismo. Some of the radio saying we were too norteño, and some stations were saying we were too tejanos, and we were like, well, nobody's gonna play us. Pero la canción se fue agarrando y nosotros nos fuimos uniendo un poco más, and aquí estamos todavía echándole ganas.
Was that the year you were nominated for a Grammy or no? Or you actually won?
We were nominated first year, right?
We were nominated on the second album was when we got nominated. It was actually on the Nadie Como Tú album, which has Dile La Verdad. So it wasn't until the second year that we got nominated. We didn't win, but we went and partied. We went and partied.
Right. Yeah.
Palominos won that year.
It was awesome. But and it's funny because we've always siempre nos hemos tardado en recording an album, and I wish we could go in and do it 2-3 weeks like most bands do it, but for some reason we've always taken forever, almost 2 years. We average 2 years between albums. And the same thing happened after the first album, and even Freddie Records they were on our ass. They were like, hey, yeah. And we were scared because we were like, okay, what the hell are we gonna do now? Like, what are we gonna do to follow up Cima del Cielo?
Who are some of your favorite composers, songwriters, what have you?
Pues hay varios, ¿verdad? We've been so blessed. I don't consider myself a songwriter. I think I've only had like 1 or 2 songs in our albums. Lately Rolo's been writing some stuff with with Juan and some of our friends. Nos chiflaron desde que empezamos.
Oye, ¿de quién es la rola Hasta la Cima del Cielo?
Okay, well that's a story in itself too.
Please, by all means.
When we signed with Freddie Records, we went to the old studio, the one over there by
Shoreline.
On the freeway, yeah. Old studio, donde dicen que asustaban. Esa es otra historia.
No, tell them all, Dave. Tell them all.
Pero mira, y tocó la suerte. Y muchas veces, a lot of people say, luck doesn't exist. It's opportunity meeting preparation. So, en ese tiempo estaba un chavo ahí, un saludito para él, José Roberto Martín. Él estaba trabajando con Freddie Records and he was struggling. He was actually living out of his van and working there in the studio, helping the production and stuff. And he had written a song for Palominos. Le acababa de grabar Palominos. Ay, no me acuerdo, una canción de Palominos. And we kept going en ratos to the studio and he helped us out and stuff. And nos faltaban como 2 canciones and he came up with Cima del Cielo and he was like, I have a song. And nos los presentó y nos sentamos yo y Rolo, and then we came up with adding the dual vocal on that, and we tweaked it y nació la Hasta la Cima del Cielo.
When you said you do the duo, how did it go?
¿Cómo se iba? No, pues yo canto la de Hasta la Cima del Cielo
Con tu amor,
aunque me cueste la vida, hasta la cima del cielo
llegaré.
Voy a robar de tu vida
Ese amor,
ese amor. Oh.
Not bad for the moment.
Spot,
right?
With this podcast, I don't play music. You know that.
Yeah,
but
I didn't know they were going to sing.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah. But after that, you guys took off. Y luego, tal vez. Y luego, los demás, ese disco. How many singles did you work on that premiere CD?
Well, actually, es que lo que pasa, como te digo, it was the span of like, I'd have to say our first 5 years of Solido were crazy. O sea, la primera fue Hasta la Cima del Cielo. That was the first album.
It had like 3 singles.
It had 3 singles on it. No Puedo Olvidar.
And Fuiste Mala.
Fuiste Mala me gusta también.
Yeah.
Fuiste Mala, sí.
No Puedo Olvidar, Fuiste Mala, those were the 3 singles, claro, pero había muchas más canciones ahí que nos pidían en vivo.
Yeah.
Entonces, we were in the studio, and the first single from the second album was Dile la Verdad.
Yeah.
También esa canción nos cayó del cielo. Del cielo. Esa canción es de Oscar Iván Treviño, de Duelo.
Sí.
Un saludito para él. And actually, he was the one that he's a good friend of ours, and he was showing me his album. He was fixing to do his thing. And we were there looking for songs for our second album.
Now, for the people that are listening that don't know who we're talking about, now, Duelo, obviously the band, the lead vocalist and leader of the band that I'm assuming, Oscar Ivan, he was a pretty popular songwriter before he actually...
Before he
exploded with his group.
Exactly,
He
yeah.
would record Palominos, a bunch of bands.
Intocable.
He wrote a lot of songs, and I always give him credit for giving us Dile la Verdad, because it got the ball rolling, because we were like, what are we going to record? And we were second guessing everything. And then when we got Dile la Verdad, everything else came easy off the second album. And I'd have to say that the second album was what really kind of gave us, ¿cómo se dice? We weren't a one-hit wonder. O sea, ya sabíamos que podíamos competir con cualquier grupo del estilo, as long as we got the airplay.
And that's the album that got us our first nomination for the Grammys. Nadie como tu album.
And that was the first album that was released in Mexico también.
How did that go? Did that turn into a lot of work or no?
Yes. Gracias a Dios. Actually, we ended up working more in Mexico than the U.S.
With
Sony. Bastante trabajo. Es touring casi todo México. De veras, nos tocó mucha suerte. Esos good times, remember that. Yeah. Entonces, after that, there was a huge gap in recording.
Do you remember that picture right there? It's the Grammy party that we held for all the artists that were nominated for Grammys, and all of them were down in the valley. and we had a Grammy party for all these guys.
Wow.
Oh, don't worry, I'll put it up on my Facebook page for sure. You remember that party?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Oh my God, I can't believe I don't remember. I see the picture, but I don't remember. It doesn't click. Wait, that was in the Valley?
Yes.
Or Corpus?
¿Qué pasa, right? That's
Yeah,
¿Qué pasa?
no. That was KIWW. That was the one.
Oh, the
That's
one.
that's
yeah,
when we
yeah,
changed.
yeah.
That's when we changed the logo to the one.
Yeah.
Do you remember my morning partner, Don Max?
Don Max,
Don
yeah,
Max,
cómo no,
eh.
yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow, man.
I'll put it up there. Don't worry about it. But
Qué
anyway,
cosa.
lots of work because of this second album, right? A second CD.
Así es. And after the second album es cuando empezaron, güey, no problemas, de veras nosotros siempre hemos estado, bueno, sí problemas, pero siempre hemos estado, yo en lo personal, bien orgulloso de ser parte de la familia Martínez de Freddie Records, pues todos nuestros discos han estado con ellos.
Cuando dices problemas, bronca, ¿qué tipo?
Pues yo creo que, I think that all bands go through that. If they're on their label, there's always conflict as far as, ¿cómo le dicen? Creative freedom.
Yeah.
Creative differences.
You know, when I was talking to John Ortiz, formerly of EMI Latin,
Uh-huh.
I said, why is that most artists, maybe not all of them, but when they're so grateful that they got this record deal, and then when it's time for their contract to be up, they start to bitch and moan about what's not right. I want more money. I want more distribution. Blah blah blah. They have a problem with it. And John Ortiz says, "Look at it from my side." He said, "Look at it from my side." I said, "Well, I'm just asking because I always found that interesting."
Well, I mean, I guess yeah. Everybody wants more money. There's you cannot ask for more money. I mean, you cannot say that even if because when the label takes a chance on you,
Sure.
and then you prove to them that
You're worth it.
you're worth it.
Sure.
So it's kind of like your rookie contract, don't you think? That's kind of
I see that,
Yeah.
but what I don't see is that no están haciendo malagradecidos, ¿verdad? O sea, ¿cómo dices?
sí. Pues yo también lo veo al lado de ellos. They're probably saying that you're being malagradecido. It's not just the band, it's the system, and that is true.
Sí.
It's not just it's you can have the best song in the world, but if nobody hears it, and if nobody's out there pushing your song, nadie la va a escuchar. Y hay
Now-
muchas canciones que se han echado a perder así.
Así es,
Claro.
sí es cierto. Pero es ese trabajo de la disquera, de promoverlo.
En esos tiempos sí.
Right now, ya
Ahora
no,
ya
ya
casi no.
No,
pero
it's very hard now. Very hard.
extremely hard.
And I
extremely
think coming
hard.
to what you say about the contract, like it's a rookie contract. I think it's, I mean, the label, of course, that first contract, they want to get their money back. I mean, they're investing in a brand new group que nadie conoce. So, como dices tú, tienen que promover el grupo, put the name out there. I think once that's up and the group is known, now it's time for both parties to make money. You know what I mean? And that's when the business aspect comes in. Pero cuando uno empieza, pues you just want your music out there. You're not
Yeah,
even
for sure.
thinking about
For
money.
sure,
But
for
once you
sure.
start seeing everything coming in, that's where it's like, okay, now we got to look at the business part of it.
Now, I don't mean to get too personal, but you make more money on the road or more money with CD sales?
Oh no, definitely.
Right now,
Most
the road,
yeah,
yeah.
the most bands. I mean, including us, we have to tour. That's why a lot of people they always ask us, especially at hometown. They're like, "¿Y están touring ahorita?" And I was like, "We're always touring, man. If
Right
not,
on.
we won't eat."
Right on, right
Yeah,
on.
we're always. They're siempre. No somos como los pop musicians or whatever. Too. They say put an album and then they'll do like a year tour. And then they'll take a break for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And la onda no existe eso.
No existe.
You gotta tour. You gotta tour all the time, constantly.
Now, when you talk about tour, what are some of your places, your favorite places?
My favorite places to play, there's different venues. Claro, las plazas más fuertes, puedo decir, donde nos van mucho mejores, puede ser Houston, Laredo, pues también pues México, ¿te acuerdas que siempre
Yeah.
Monterrey, Puebla, o sea, pues el Valle, pues es nuestra casa, pero siempre nos apoyan. Tenemos muchos pueblos. Florida, I love playing in Florida too.
You know, Florida is a unique market, very unique, because the people there, they love the Tejano music, but yet they also love Duranguense. They love. Go ahead.
It's a huge market out there.
Yeah, o sea, porque hay de todo, o sea, pues no puedes decirle tejanos porque están en Florida, pero yo creo que lo que en la música de what kind of defines, what the genre is, yeah, it's usually first and second generation, los que se ya first and second generation que ya están aquí en Estados Unidos, que son hijos de padres que se vinieron de México.
Right.
Y ya están, they're a little bit more Americanized, if you say that.
Yes,
And then
yes.
those are the ones that lean a little bit more towards the Tejano or towards the Norteño Light. And then los que están recién llegados, ellos sí quieren la música mexicana.
Getting back to what you're talking about with the younger people, they are more Americanized. That reflects in the prices they're willing to pay
Exactly.
to see you guys. It's gone from $10 to $15 to like $30, $35 now.
Yeah. Pre-sale usually 30, 35 on
It's crazy, man.
It's lo bueno cuesta.
Yeah. The last time that I saw you was about 2 years ago, and it was at Cowboys. It was Ramon Ayala, you guys, and somebody else. It was like 2 years ago, and what I liked about being there that night at Cowboys is that nobody knew me. Nobody's asking me to get them backstage. Say hello to so and so. Can you give me a shirt? I was just there as a spectator, and I liked it. It's been a while, man.
Cool.
With regards to touring and the places that you like the most, what are some of the places that you dislike going to? Like, oh shit, we gotta play this town again. Or don't you don't mention it?
No, ¿dónde? Pues donde nadie te quiere o nadie te conoce. A ver, ¿dónde? Una vez fuimos, ¿cuándo fue? Hace como 3 años.
Now you know after you stay that you're not gonna go back, right?
It was out of state. I'm not gonna say it was out of state, and the first gig was all right, but they only paid us half.
Oh.
So then they wanted to cancel Saturday, and so we just hang around and then do the Sunday gig, and we were like, no, we just came back to Texas. We just came back, so we haven't gone back to that state.
You don't want to say which one it was.
No, I don't want to say it porque yo sé que tenemos fans en todo Estados Unidos.
Right.
Y siempre me mandan mensajes de through Grupo Solido Facebook or my Facebook. They always send us mensajes que cuando vienen a tocar a tal pueblo, cuando vienen. Y no hemos tenido oportunidad, o sea, de ir para allá. No vamos a ir tan lejos para nada más, for one gig.
Yeah.
So, pero todavía nos falta mucho que correr.
Do you have a manager or somebody who negotiates your stuff? Sometimes I know that when you just said that the promoter didn't pay you, whose fault was that?
Sí tenemos gente que nos ayuda, que se encarga that takes care of the gigs and stuff. Sometimes you kind of actually the way you're supposed to do it is like, hey, you send my money, then I get on stage. But sometimes you're like, hey, well, you have a trust factor and that's involved in there. You worked with them before, or whoever quien te recomendó es de confianza. I mean, it happens. Some promoters just gamble and les toca perder esa vez. And it's usually not. Sometimes it's not really the band. It might have been a bad date. Or another club that when you went up against another band that charged less, or there's a lot of factors involved.
Yeah, sure there is. So a little while ago, somebody asked me, I won't mention no names. Do you remember this? He says, do you remember when you see if I can explain this right? Okay, first of all, I got a phone call about 3 weeks ago, and she says, no, it was a text message, and she said, are you up? If you're up, call me. So I called her up. She says, you never guess what happened today here at the bar. It was my bar in Corpus, my office, if you will. Anyway, she says, we were here all just hanging out, drinking beers, and all of a sudden, we heard your voice. Hey, it's AC Cruz, blah, blah, blah. Beautiful day, la chingada. Came out of the jukebox. Came out in the jukebox, and they all looked at you like, did you just hear what I heard? Did you just hear AC Cruz? Now, what was that song that I recorded with you guys, well, several other radio personalities that were on the CD, and why didn't I get royalties?
You gotta call Freddie for that.
What song was that, man?
That was actually the intro for the live album.
Yeah,
that was actually the introduction for the whole album itself. Yeah, and I think you were like the main one, the last one that came on that one. That was cool.
As I did La Mafia live in '86, I was replaced by one of my favorite announcers is Bill Young, because I know that my voice cracked in the actual show with La Mafia, and so they used Bill Young. And then the one for Mas. Una Noche Juntos here in San Antonio, I wasn't there. I did the audio pro sound, and then that one with you guys. I've been on 2 different CDs, so I haven't received any royalties from anybody. So
Still waiting.
I'm still waiting. So you'll hear from our attorney very soon. The live CD, it did very well for you guys.
It did. It does. People still ask for it, and you know what? We had been wanting to record another live album, pero ese live album, like we were talking earlier, you know, how we kind of felt that the stage was a little bit too big for us because of our, you know, porque no teníamos mucha experiencia and stuff, and so we kind of once I hung up my bass duties and entró Fer de Monterrey. And,
what year was that?
that was just right before the Dile La Verdad album, which would be
Right after Dile La Verdad.
2002. And we got our shit together, and we started, doing what we wanted to do on stage and doing our own thing and having our own identity. We kind of felt that we wanted to do a live album, and I was like, we're gonna do a live album. We only have 2 albums out, so let's wait one more album. And it actually took another 3 years because a lot of stuff happened.
A lot of BS.
A lot of, that's when we were talking about, that Tal Vez album, which was probably kind of what catapulted Solido to the next level. That was the first album we did not record at Freddie Records. We went to Pro Sound. We kind of defied them. That's when we started fighting for a while there. Yeah, we did our own thing. We had other songwriters involved, and we did different stuff. We did, pues that's when we did our first, like, que podemos decir cumbia romántica, que fue la de Tal Vez. Oh, and the first, en la norteña de Nomás Este Rey. A funny thing happened with that album, once we finished it and we were kind of waiting and to see what Freddie Records will do with it, all of a sudden we're driving down from Houston and we hear one of our songs off our new album that nobody supposedly has play on the radio in Dallas.
How did that happen?
So the album got leaked. Somebody stole the copy. We never found out who or what happened. Yes.
Hasta la fecha
no sabemos.
No me digas.
So actually,
hay una rata por ahí.
Por ahí, Mickey Mouse.
Somebody's got a master somewhere.
Wow.
And, yes, and
I know people. I can find out.
Go for it.
Fíjate que pensándolo bien, y ese disco se hubiera perdido. No iba a salir. Y pues gracias a Dios fue una bendición. I mean, tal vez me atrevo a decir que es una... hasta la cima del cielo sigue siendo la bandera de Solido. I mean, it'll always be, what the song that we're known for.
Right.
But to me, tal vez...
I think it just opened
a whole new world for us.
Do you want to continue that formula, or are you going to go do something else?
I think we just added to the formula, kind of like when you add to your arsenal.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call, brother. Good call, man. That's nice.
Because Nomás Este Rey, I was talking to Freddie Jr. about it. Banda recorded it, hace poquito, and the guy just sang it acoustic, and he posted, and it got over 1 million views, and that's one of our, most requested songs, like Nomás Este Rey, and that wasn't even a single.
Yeah.
It was a single after we did it in the live album. So yeah, the Tal Vez album is like I think the first complete Solido album that we got to showcase what we could really do.
If you ever get a chance, ask Freddie Jr. to sing. Did you know that he sings?
No, I knew he plays guitar. He plays a mean guitar.
No, he can sing as well.
Really?
As a matter of fact, he and I were at Lonely Boys at Concrete Street in Corpus. We started singing. Now, before I had my stroke, I could carry a tune.
Oh, you know,
and we sang some pretty good harmonies, man. Or maybe I was drinking too much.
It sounded good at the time.
It sounded good at the time.
No, but really, he sings pretty good, man.
I'm surprised he's never done any coros or anything for anybody at the studio, or maybe.
I just haven't asked him. I know he's done guitar parts for other groups.
Yeah? Like what? Like who?
He did the bajo part actually for us on like a rock song we have on our second album.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's him.
Siempre te amé.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing behind the mic. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Pues Freddie's a really big rock enthusiast. I mean, he has all this memorabilia. I think he's like really into Van Halen, Kiss, all these different guitars he has. And we were looking for we're doing a rock ballad, and we wanted some type of distortion on it. So he brought some pedals from his house for us to try out. And he started messing around with it, and it sounded cool. We're like, well, why don't you just do it? You're doing it already. So he got the bajo and he recorded it.
Awesome!
I forgot about that too.
I love it. I love it. Freddie is a good guy, man. Toda la familia.
Muy buena gente.
Sí. I didn't know that he played guitar, man.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's really good.
Yeah, he's good. He's hard.
Well, mándame saludos if he's not listening to this podcast.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Corpus, you guys were nice enough to donate your time and your talent to this fundraiser that we did, a relief effort for Hurricane Katrina. Michael Salgado, Bay Pulido, you guys help me out if you remember. Joe Lopez, Jimmy Gonzalez, you guys, who else?
Man, that was a long time ago. I think that was
Palominos? I don't think Palominos was there.
at the
Graham Central Station.
right?
Yes. Everybody played pretty much gastos, except for the big timers. Por favor.
Who were the big time?
Yeah. Who you talking about? Anyway, the guys, they didn't need the money. They said, you know what, AC, just don't worry about it. Donate it to the cause. And you guys just took $100. That was it for the gas money.
Little Waterburg.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Waterburg and gas money. But hey, thank you so much, man.
I appreciate it. Yo también me acuerdo de un show, Concrete Street, the first time you ever played there.
That was the party on the patio.
The party in the patio. ¿Te acuerdas de ese también?
The party on the patio. It was a free concert after work. Come join us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Ese sí me acuerdo porque esa es la primera vez que I heard the people from Corpus sing, tal vez sing it back. Y estaba la canción. I think it was a newest single. It had only been out for like 2-3 weeks, but that was when it was like right apenas cuando ya sabíamos que it was a bona fide hit.
Oh, yeah.
I'll always remember that
For
one
sure.
night.
When you say bona fide hit, all the singles that you released have always been pretty powerful. Most of them. You know? Now, there's some songs that should have been released as a single, but it wasn't. You said it yourself.
Yeah. And we used to get really upset about it because we were saying, the songs are wasted. And then, now I'm really looking at it. It's like, well, a song is not really wasted because the true fans will buy the whole album. And I've always said this. I've always felt that the key to Solido's success has been our hard work in trying to make a complete album. Not just like, hey, we already have our 2 singles and let's do these filler songs. No, we've always felt really strong on all the songs in the album. And when some of the songs don't make it as singles, or the ones we thought were going to be singles, the label chooses other songs. But then, when you really think about it, the fans buy the whole album and they'll appreciate everything you recorded.
Now, do you find that happening a lot lately because of the downloads? Everybody's downloading now, and they say, you know what? I would like to buy the whole album, but I just like this song in particular.
Yeah, it's easier for it. I guess it's more consumer friendly, if you want to say it. Sure. It's easier now, and kind of what the trend is going now is that you release, 3 or 4 songs before you release the whole album.
Really?
So that you get to like really spotlight more songs than you would do just the first single, and then the second single is when the album comes out, and so it kind of gives the album a little bit more life. Yeah. So I think that's what we're gonna do next.
What's that?
All right, we want to. We're in the middle of finishing our album.
That's what I'm talking to you about.
Yeah, and. I figured we were gonna have a new album by the end of the year, but
don't even start to be like Palomino and say, "Oh, we're working on it. We're almost done. Don't give me that bullshit."
Well, I know for sure that Johnny is done.
Okay.
Yeah, we're only halfway in this.
You only halfway? We're halfway. Now, what is coming up for Solido?
Well, como dice Ben, right now we're in the studio. We're about halfway done. We're thinking about. We've been talking about taking that route about releasing. A couple of singles before the album's even out. Try doing that to give the album more life. Touring, man. Touring like crazy. Just being on the road right now. We're thinking about going back into Mexico again also. We're thinking... We have a couple of shows out there, so...
Now, let me ask you a question. With all this talk about dangerous towns or whatever, La Frontera está muy peligroso hoy. Pero, is it dangerous in the interior de Mexico?
Gracias a Dios, we haven't had problems ya. O sea, en lo que es el interior, we've never really...
No, casi nunca hemos tenido problemas. Sí, está te da nervios, ¿verdad? You're always concerned, especially, como dices tú, la frontera y todo, pero gracias a Dios nunca hemos tenido ningún problema. Hay muchos grupos que cuando empezó todo lo de que se puso feo, como dicen en México, we were working more in Mexico. We were working about 60 to 70% of our gigs were in Mexico.
Y nada de bronca.
Nada de bronca, gracias a Dios, nunca tuvimos problemas. Pero sí, we decided, like, you know, to go a little bit less.
Sí.
Y nos dedicamos un poquito más acá, a lo que es Estados Unidos, US. Pero queremos trabajar para allá, nos siguen hablando. No tenemos representación ahorita en México. You know, we don't have, you know, anybody that...
Ni mi padrino Oscar Flores.
Ni Oscar, ni Servando, ni nadie. Pero, y si están escuchando, están las puertas abiertas. Queremos trabajar.
There you go.
Listos.
¿Cuál es el pueblo a cruzar del río en México?
Camargo, Tamaulipas.
Camargo,
Camargo,
sí.
ya.
Fíjate que...
Pero los tacos están mejores en Miguel Alemán.
Ok. Oye, todavía está en Río, todavía está en Erasmus.
It's called Moe's now. It's called Moe's
I
now.
love it. I love that bar. When you know that, I know the cantina in Rio.
That's crazy.
It's a new location.
Yeah, it's right down the street now, but it's called Moe's.
¿Cómo se
now.
llamaba la otra donde tocábamos?
The Sportsman.
Chick, you over there on the? I can hear you. That's fine. That's good. That's cool. I can hear you. You way off mic. But don't you know that I would know the bar in Rio?
That's crazy. That's what you remember, the bar.
Wow, man.
No. I remember the bar, and I also remember Hill Country Ballroom.
Oh, Hill Country
It's
Ballroom.
closed down already.
Yeah.
It's for sale.
And then the other convenience store that the owner had right there, llegando a Rio. He had a convenience store. Anyway.
El entrando. The owner of the Golden Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, ya no está ahí
Sí,
tampoco.
ya no existe tampoco. I
It's a
remember
restaurant.
the name,
It's a restaurant.
Y luego el cabrón de Honorio Garza. I love Honorio, man. I love it, man.
Para Honorio.
Anyway, wow, man, I miss the Valley. You guys make me miss the Valley, man. So, when should we expect the CD, and when should we expect Solido in our town?
I can't say about the CD, no. I have no idea. It depends. I'm doing vocals this week and next week.
I mean, a single? I'm
A
thinking
single. Hopefully we
soon.
can get it before finish doing the vocals, and then we'll do mix and master maybe before the end of the year. I can't promise anything, but maybe before the end of the year we get a brand new single. Next week, what do we got this week?
The holidays that are coming up was for the Thanksgiving weekend. I know we're
It's busy.
that Wednesday we're in Houston. Thursday we're in Rio Grande. In our hometown we have our annual Thanksgiving dance. Then Friday we're in Laredo.
It's our 14th annual, man. It's
Yeah.
Please tell me about that, man.
Well, we started doing our Thanksgiving dance 14 years ago, and it started just like we want to be home for Thanksgiving. Hey, let's make our own dance.
¿Y dónde lo
It's
haces?
been like that. We started doing it at the Golden Hill, but ya no está el Golden Hill, so we're doing it at the KC Hall.
Sí.
The KC Hall. We haven't gone anywhere else, no? Just KC and Golden Hill. Yeah.
Actually, this year we're having Los Palominos and La Firma, and us.
It's going to be a hell of a show, man.
It's gonna be a good show.
Yeah,
Give it to me again.
It's Palominos, Solido, and La Firma.
That's another great songwriter. Luis
Oh, Luis
Padilla.
Padilla,
Luis
yes.
Padilla.
Very
La
good.
Firma.
Yeah.
Hell of a
Saludito para él.
songwriter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So where can I get tickets to that show? I mean, I know that I'm here in San Antonio, but for people listening.
Tickets in Rio are available at Canales Drive-In, Fairground Mart, at Loyal Liquor, the new liquor store,
Yeah, I think we're gonna have some online, right?
and online too.
I love it the way he looks at me in the liquor store.
At Erasmus.
I don't drink liquor. I just drink beer.
Oh,
man.
okay.
Yeah.
There you
Oye,
go.
pero what other dates are coming up after the holidays?
A ver, vamos para. I know we don't have any weekends off between now and this and the major one we're looking forward to is the 29th.
We're closing off the year.
Closing off the year in
Mexico.
Mexico, in Monterrey on the 29th, Saltillo the 28th, and Sabinas Hidalgo the 27th. Said it backwards. 27th, 28th, 29th. That's in Mexico. Let's go de allá para acá. Estamos el 8 en Pecos, December 8th. Pecos. No, that's 8th is Saturday. The 7th is in Pecos. The Saturday we got a private. The following week, 15th and 16th, we're in Lubbock, West Texas, Lubbock and Abilene. 22nd and 21st. I don't know where we're at. I got to look at the schedule.
Well, 2019. What's going on with Solido? What are the plans? What do you want to do?
For sure, get on the road, promote our new music. Hopefully we can have the new single out. I think we're in January we're going to be shooting the video for the new single, whichever one we picked, and just do a lot of touring, promote the new music out there. It's been, like I said, it's been 2 years since our last album.
Yeah.
No me vuelvas a besar así.
It was
Released
in
2016, November 2016. So yeah, we're long overdue. I know we got a lot of people complaining and asking for new music. So I think that's what we're gonna focus on for 2019, the new album, and for 2020, which is gonna be our 20th anniversary. We're gonna release. Well, Freddie Records is releasing the remastering of all the whole catalog.
Wow.
And I think it's time for a new live album, man. I've been wanting to do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can do a live album in 2020.
Maybe you could do the intro.
I would love to.
Right?
I would
20 years
love to.
later.
I would. As soon as we discuss this situation with my attorney, and
We'll figure it out. We'll sort it
the
out.
royalties. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Take care of the small fee.
Have my people call your people.
Yeah, right. Behind the mic, resolutions for the new year. Any?
Me personally, keep busy and healthy, man. Más que nada, I'm just trying to stay healthy. That's my personal. I don't know where you've been.
Get ready to pass that mic, Chicos, because I know he ain't moving.
Like I said, it's a lot of. I got a lot of big changes in coming up. I'm moving to a new house. I know I got a lot of work to do here. The New Year's. I got my older daughter here in San Antonio. She's going to UTSA. Hopefully, I can meet her with Rita for lunch. And she started freshman year this August, and I kind of felt I didn't come up here enough. Yeah. So I promised myself I'm gonna make more time to drive up here and just see her a little bit, visit her a little bit more, and just focus on the new music and new album. I know that we kind of slacked there, didn't go to the studio most of the year, just towards the latter part of the year. So terminar el disco, and hopefully the new album should be out. I say March, April, por ahí más o menos.
Chiquis, what is your New Year's resolution?
New Year's resolution, me, well, también staying healthy. Used to be 300 pounds. We're down to 190 some.
Good for you, brother.
And otra cosa, I've always, como nosotros, como dices tú, behind the mic, people that don't know other stuff about Solido, I'm a real big time outdoorsman. I like hunting, I like fishing.
Eres familia, eres amigo de Roberto Pulido.
Sí, yeah, you know, I wanna este año I wanna buy my own ranch.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad, we have a ranch, but it's basically his. You know, él lo compró, es de él. You know.
Ándale, caro.
I mean, I'm the one that always does the little stuff there, pero yeah, it's his. You know, yo quiero comprar algo que dice este rancho es mío, yo lo compré. That's my goal.
Right on. Give a round of applause, brother. Right on.
No, pero pues que siga siendo del jefe, porque si estoy no puedo ir. No quiero que vaya nadie, no te creas.
Guys, Solido, thank you so much, man. I enjoyed it. It was great seeing you guys. Anything else you want to say before you go?
Un saludito a toda la gente, un saludito a toda la raza que sigue apoyando la música de Solido. Muy pronto estaremos en sus pueblos. Yo sé que tienes gente por todos lados. Sé que especialmente out of state. You know, that's another thing that we're probably going to go. Actually, next year we're going to Washington. We haven't gone there in a long time. Un saludito para toda la raza de allá. And just muchas gracias a ti, AC. You were part of, you know, a lot of the bands that came out from Starr County or that area. Us, Iman, Intenso, Intocable de aquella área, Duelo, claro, Costumbre. A lot of the bands que crecimos de esa área, te escuchábamos a ti en la radio. O sea, era parte de nuestras metas. It was our goal, not only to record an album and not only to record a video, but to be in the radio with you guys. Well, at least it was mine, you know. It was one of my goals. Y porque las entrevistas tuyas siempre eran algo especial, algo no nomás como dicen, no nomás que dónde van a tocar y quiénes son los solteros.
It's not very planned out.
Yeah,
Usually you go to a decision, it's the same routine. And it wasn't the same routine with you, man.
Y me da mucho gusto que ahora, 20 años después, 20 years later, here you are taking it to another level. O sea,
thank you, man.
Yeah.
And that's so cool, man. Honestly, I think our genre needs that. And te doy las gracias a ti for pioneering that, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Somebody told me it's about time. You should have done this a long time ago. Well, a long time ago, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it. The time wasn't right, you know? And then I said, you know what? The time is right. Coming out doing my shit. Doing the stuff that I like to do, you know? Yeah, and that was pretty much interviewing bands like you, man.
Thank you, man.
That's awesome.
I appreciate it, and I thank you for saying what you're saying, man.
No, gracias a ti.
Solido, thank you so much. Guys, thank you for coming up from Rio, and say hello to all my peeps. at Moe's.
At Moe's, yeah. We'll say hi to Erasmo.
You guys have a safe trip back home and take care, man.
Thank you.
Thank
man.
you. Nos vemos.
Thank
Gracias.
you.
No, thank you, Solido. Wow. It's kind of nice. Years later, you found out that you were part of somebody's life, somebody's goal, and they achieved that. That was really cool. Anyway, so listen, we're out of here. I want to thank you, Hector Reyes, Hired Gun Productions. Jackie Lynn, thank you so much. And for all of you guys listening, thank you so much. Have yourself a happy Thanksgiving. And don't eat too much. You know what? Eat all that turkey, but be grateful. Just be grateful. Chill to the next episode of Cruise Control with AC Cruz behind the mic.